What's up, YouTube? You're watching Steel City MotoVlogs. I'm Derek T, and it's Sunday, August, look at my date, sorry, August 6th, and live in Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to make our way home to Pittsburgh today. The original plan was we were going to go from here to Columbus, Ohio and stop for the night. But we decided to take it on into Pittsburgh. It's about a 6-hour ride, and I'll show you some of our ride information in the next clip. But it's looking like we're gonna have to suit up for this one. Raindrops are starting already, and we haven't even gotten on the road yet. So probably gonna hop off, throw my rain suit on. That storm behind me, pulling up as well. Looks like we're gonna have to suit up for this one. Or y'all want to try to get down the road?
When we get down the road, we can't pull off on the side of the road. We got to be in like a.
We got to be like a, yeah.
We might have to put it on.
Let's put it on. Let's put it on. We're gonna suit up and then we'll get on the road. I'll see you all out there on the road. Well, this is not looking promising at all. Look at those clouds right there. We're in Louisville, Kentucky, getting ready to make our way home to Pittsburgh. About 380 miles. So we should get there about the middle of the afternoon. On the contrary, over here doesn't look so bad. Hopefully we're going that way.
Yeah.
All right, you all, so here's the footage from the road. This was somewhere between Lexington, Kentucky and Cincinnati, Ohio. When we first got on the road, it was really, really dark, and it was looking like the rain was just gonna come down in buckets, very similar to Hurricane Ida when it chased us all the way back up the East Coast, home from the National Biker Roundup in Perry, Georgia that year. We were really expecting a major downpour right through here, but the rain never came. Only a couple drops hit the windshield, and then all of a sudden the sun came out, and it was a much smoother ride going home than we were expecting. And so we ultimately ended up pulling over and having to take the rain gear off, but that was several hours down the road. We had a really, really good time on this trip though. The trip was really, really smooth, and there were a couple breaks that we took on the in-between. I'll show you a couple of those breaks. But for the most part, we ended up taking about a 400-mile leg from from Memphis to Louisville on that Saturday, August 5th, and then today, August 6th, we ended up taking Louisville all the way into Pittsburgh. Like I said, it was a really, really smooth ride, and I learned a lot of things about myself on this trip, and so we'll get into that in just a little bit here. Lesson number 1. Here's the first thing that I learned about myself during this trip. It's probably the most important thing, and that is I learned that I'm a rider. It's what I do. You can't tell me I'm not a rider, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because when I think back on what's been my motorcycle journey to this point that started in 2019, I've been told a lot of times by a lot of different people that I wasn't that, and I never really even saw this kind of riding. I never really saw that. When I first bought that 2005 Yamaha V-Star all those years ago, I didn't see myself doing this. I don't know what I saw, I don't know what I was thinking, but I didn't see myself doing this. But I'm really proud of myself because I really put in over 2,000 miles on this trip along with the rest of the group. And so the first thing that I learned is that I hands down am a rider. This is what I do. Going to the roundup, I loved seeing all of the campers and the RVs out there and all of the creativity that people took the time to express during that event. But let me tell you what, I've never seen so many bikes on trailers in my life. And I didn't trailer my bike down there. I had no intention of trailering my bike down there because my bike is a riding bike. And part of the adventure of the roundup is the actual ride there. I know people, you know, chose to camp out, and I know people choose to camp out in their RVs, and that's great. You know, I'm not downing anybody, but my bike is not meant for trailering, and this rider right here doesn't trailer his bike. He rides it. So the very first thing I would say is I'm a rider, hands down. The second lesson that I learned is that I need to start using what I got. A year and a half ago, I bought a trailer for the specific purpose of making long trips and being able to travel in the convenience that I envisioned myself being able to travel in, and being able to take the things with me that I desire to take with me that might not necessarily fit on my bike when I go to load it. Here's the lesson that I really learned, and that is to get out of my own head where that trailer is concerned. Whenever I go camping and whenever I'm riding by myself, short or long distance, I don't mind pulling my trailer. I don't have a problem with it at all. The thought that I had going into a trip like this, especially because I was riding with 6 other people, was that if I pull the trailer, my bike's going to get different fuel economy, which it does, which is going to cause the group to have to stop more frequently. And that means I'm going to be that guy, the one who ends up having to hold the group back, the one who forces the group to have to stop more frequently than it would otherwise like to. And so for that reason, I left my trailer at home, but boy, did I miss it while we were on the road. And so I'll never again, I don't care who it inconveniences. I know it conveniences me, and so I'm going to bring my trailer no matter who I'm riding with. You're just going to have to either get used to it or kick rocks. But I'm bringing my trailer with me from now on. There were so many times where I wish I had it, where I wish I could have been able to bring certain things with me. That mistake I will not make again, ever in life. I'm bringing my trailer with me. I'm using what I got because I paid for it. And I paid all that money for that trailer to sit in my garage while I was on a 2,000 mile trip. I'll never make that mistake again. All right, y'all. Gassed up, waiting on the other guys. Man, sweating like a pig in that rain gear. But we're out of it now. And about to get back on the road. Got me a little Happy Juice cocktail here. Strawberry G2 with a shot of 5-hour energy in it. That should get me about the next 125 miles. I'm also going to take in a leave for my back. Getting a little bit older, just happens that way. So we'll catch back up with you at the next stop. Lesson number 3 has more to do with me riding in the context of a motorcycle club. During this trip, at the point that we got to Nashville, Tennessee, I ended up having to step in as the road captain due to some technical issues. Nothing personal with anybody in the club. There were technical issues that happened with GPS devices and all of that stuff, and I actually ended up thrust into a position where I ended up having to lead the club, which was something I had never done before, and particularly had never done it on any type of a distance trip before. And so in the middle of this, you know, epic journey, I found myself with a whole lot of responsibility all of a sudden thrust upon me. The safety of everybody who was riding behind me, among other things. Even my own safety, because it was quite the adjustment learning how to ride in the front. That is checking both of my mirrors to see where everybody is on a frequent basis, to keep my eyes on the road in front of me for the ever-changing road conditions, and also to keep my eyes on the GPS to know where we need to go, when we need to go. And so there's a lot going on there, and I did have a lot of help from a couple of people in the club who were on the SENA communicators, and they were kind of giving me information as we went. And being armed with information is the best thing possible when you're in that situation. And so it was definitely something that by the time we got back home to Pittsburgh, I was really comfortable with. But when we started out in Nashville, not so much. It was a position that I definitely had to grow into. Hats off to you road captains and you different motorcycle clubs that are out there. You all can have it. I don't want it. I was happy to serve and help out because the club needed for me to do so, but I don't necessarily ever need to be a front road captain ever again. But I learned that I can lead or follow no matter what the situation calls for, and that was a lesson, something about me that I didn't necessarily know before. And so that was a good experience for me to have. YouTube, back in Pittsburgh, back in the Steel City, in my driveway, home in one piece, Memphis, Tennessee, 7 days, 2,000 miles, no incidents, everybody's in one piece. Road captain for over 1,000 miles out of the trip. Man, what a time we had. National Biker Roundup, Beale Street, MOTOVlogger meetups of every kind. Man, I mean, it's just, man, this is a lot to process, but man, I am home and in one piece. And hey, National Biker Roundup, you all did a good job. I know it got crazy, but hey, I always have a good time when I go to the Roundup. I know people have their issues, but we had a great time. Pittsburgh represented, and hopefully next year we get to see you all again. But for now, I'm gonna go in here and lay down. You all take care.